I'm trying to figure out, mate, if we are going to look ahead to a number 9 or not, if we can get Wirtz. But while we're speaking about Wirtz, it has been confirmed today by Lewis Steele that the money is there for Liverpool to sign Florian Wirtz. Now, the money is one thing, but we do have to get the nod from the player and his camp. So we'll adhere to bring you that news as and when we get it. But confirmation from Lewis Steele and a few others, to be fair, that the money is there for Liverpool. Now, let's hope that we can kick on and really, really build something special for next season. Paul Smith said, "Dear Craig, who is our striker?" Don't know. And that's the honest answer. I have no idea who the preference is through the middle. For instance, the conversation earlier on about Wirtz, I don't know if we got Wirtz, would that alter how Liverpool want to pursue in the number 9? I really don't know. Would we play a false 9? Let me just pitch you a scenario, just because it kind of fell into our lap today. So let's say that Liverpool did sign... Did I say Havertz? Because I've been saying Havertz all day. Let's say Liverpool did sign Florian Wirtz. Let's say, for instance, that we were able to get that deal done. Well, the asking price for João Pedro has dramatically changed. And I'm wondering, would this change your view of a possible signing of him? So a report earlier on in the Telegraph said that Liverpool could be a team to keep an eye on when it comes to João Pedro of Brighton. They say that he is available for about £30 million. Now, you can read back a few months ago, there were stories quoting 100 million, a 30 million. If we were to bring in a Florian Wirtz or somebody like that, it would make far more sense to me at that point. Look, I'm a realist. Like I've always said, I don't want our owners and our club to just go out there and piss away money for the sake of it. If we were to bring in Wirtz and we had to pare back through the centre a little bit with somebody like a João Pedro or somebody like Chiesa, who the manager said in the late last night in the embargoed section of the press conference will be around for next season. So what would you do? Would you take it? If you got Wirtz, would you take João Pedro as an attacking option? If Chiesa's staying around, then we'd have Gakpo, Diaz if he stays, Jota, João Pedro. In this scenario, Florian Wirtz, Mohamed Salah, some pretty good options, and young Jadon Dan's coming through as well. So let me give you another update here. Credit the lads at LFC Transfer Room for posting this from Sky Germany. Manchester City and Liverpool are still there in the Wirtz race and want to stay involved as long as Wirtz hasn't signed for Bayern. Both clubs planning to submit offers as well. So let's wait and see on that one. It will be very interesting if he doesn't stay in Germany. What happens between Liverpool and Man City? Again, what can City throw at him? Money, probably. Let's be honest about it. Money. Tradition? No. Premier League champions? Well, not this season. But look, if you look at the two projects and you look at the two clubs, I think it's fair to say there's some question marks over Manchester City and how they're going to be next season. They finished trophyless this season. They still have work to do to make sure they're in the Champions League. You'd have to say Liverpool a club on the up and up. Look, I know going and working with Pep Guardiola would be something that would appeal to a lot of football players. I'm not an idiot. I totally understand that. But how much longer is he going to be there? You know, will he see out the 2 years that he signed on for? What if the charges come and hit? These are all things that I think we need to keep in our minds while we wait and see what happens. And look, unfortunately with Wirtz, it does feel like the waiting game has started. I'm sure he's going to sit down with Leverkusen officials over the next few days and talk about what he wants to do. To my understanding, he's not going to stay at Leverkusen. Whether he goes to Bayern or not remains to be seen. The question that I'm going to ask is, if we signed Wirtz, would you be happy with João Pedro? And obviously what I mean by that is, money-wise, we probably wouldn't be able to throw another 100 mil at a striker. So let's say in this great scenario, we end up with Florian Wirtz. Would you be happy with João Pedro? Now, João Pedro's been a name that has come up a lot over the last year or so, if you take a look back over the media. Lots of people say that he scores very highly with regards to the analysis of his pressing and all the things that the boffins at the club would look for in a player. He ticks a lot of those boxes. Look, I think he's a good footballer. This season he's had some injury concerns, I believe. But I wouldn't be happy unless we had somebody like a Wirtz. And by the way, who was it earlier on? It was a former Liverpool player. I'm not sure if it was Pennant or somebody said that they wouldn't be excited about the signing of a Florian Wirtz. That it isn't a name that would make you go, wow. So they said something like, if it was Isak, we'd all be all over the place. Wow, what a signing, amazing. But if it was Wirtz, it would kind of be like, meh, really? Really? If Liverpool signed Florian Wirtz, I can tell you Reds would be pretty damn happy about it. Said, hey Craig, do you feel like we can sign Wirtz as our 9? I wouldn't want to guess what the plan would be if we signed him. Like, do I see a world where he could be a false 9? Absolutely. But do I know definitively what the plan would be? No, don't have a clue. It would be an exciting one though, and it would be a massive statement if Liverpool were to do that. So we've just triggered the Frimpong clause. So that's what, £30 million that Liverpool have spent. I believe he's going to sign a 5-year contract that will keep him here until 2030. On top of that, look, it's going to be interesting to see how much money we bring in this summer. King7 said, say the Wirtz and he'll score us a goal. Hopefully so. Hopefully many. But look, I'm not getting my hopes up just yet on Florian Wirtz. I'm not. I'm still of the mindset that he probably stays in Germany. But I'm very hopeful that if he doesn't, we would be an attractive proposition for him. Cam said, if we lose both Darwin and Jota, I don't think Wirtz and Pedro give us enough finishing to really push on. It's a fair point. But we don't really... how can I say that then? So, we still have Mo, who does numbers. We still have Diaz. We still have Gakpo. In this scenario, we'd have João Pedro. We'd have... I was going to say Kai Havertz again, lads. Florian Wirtz. I think there's goals in that team. I don't know what the future is with Dan's. Does he get brought in? Does he go on loan? Probably on loan. It's probably the sensible play. It depends. You know, it depends. It will give us a lot of options. A lot of creativity, which I would hope would lead to more goals. But it's really impossible to just sit here and say whether I think it would be enough. You know, I'm not sure. But I can tell you, it would make me feel like we don't have to lean on Mo as much. Because Wirtz will deliver goals and assists. If Diaz stays, I think he kicks on. Gakpo will chip in with a few. What we need is some more goals from midfield. But I do get your point, Cam. It's a fair one. You're still not going out there and boxing off what you think is a 30-goal-a-season striker. But would Alvarez be that? I don't know the answer to that, but I don't think so. I think an Isak, yes, 30-goal-a-season striker. And Alvarez, probably a bit more in the mould of a Firmino with regards to the numbers we could expect. And João Pedro may slip into that as well. So I wouldn't be getting upset about it, but I do get your point. Sign Wirtz and get Jonathan David in on a free. Then bring in Kirkes, Wharton and a centre-back. Sell Kelleher, Nunes, Costas, Endo, Elliott, Bajcetic. Will win the league with this. I wouldn't be, personally, mate, I wouldn't be of the mindset to sell Bajcetic just yet. I really think there's a good player in there. Jonathan David, I think he's going to go to Italy from a few murmurings that I've been seeing. But it's a name that's gone fairly quiet with Liverpool, but that could just mean I'm in the wrong circles in that regard. But it'd be an interesting one. The only thing I disagree with, Kem, is probably the Bajcetic one. I wouldn't be selling him yet.